Yeah, that's the big question here in Warrington this morning. Who are the Wolves going to choose for the right to get to Old Trafford, they hope, and compete for this magnificent Super League trophy? This is the 5th year of the club call. Some love it, some hate it, some despise it. But the one thing you can say is it always creates interest at this time of the season. The history tells you that in 2009, Leeds chose the Catalan Dragons and won. In 2010, Saints chose Huddersfield and won. In 2011, Warrington chose Leeds and lost. And last year, Wigan chose Leeds and lost. The man who has the responsibility of choosing who Warrington will play this year is the chairman of the Warrington Wolves, Steven Broomhead, who is here alongside me now. Stephen, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for. If you can just get to your feet. And first of all, can I ask you, I read yesterday there was a 4-way conference call going to be held between you, your coach Tony Smith, who isn't here today, the owner of the club, and the chief executive, and you would all have an input. Is that the case?
No, there was no conference call at all yesterday. We were all busy shopping or doing other things.
No conference call. So has the coach had any input into the decision you're about to give us now?
The decision that's going to be given is made by the board. It is supported by the coaches. They agreed that we will make the decision. We have that formal professional relationship between the coaching staff and indeed the board. So it is the board decision.
So if it all goes pear-shaped this weekend, it's your fault?
Yeah, the set of colours are going to be guilty of waiting.
Well, you dodged the bullet 2 years ago. This is your chance now. Can you tell us who, on Thursday night, here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in Warrington, the Warrington Wolves will play for the right to get to Old Trafford?
Well, after very careful consideration, we've decided to choose Huddersfield Giants.
It's possibly understandable because in the last 8 meetings, Warrington have beaten Huddersfield. Is that purely and simply the reason you've chosen them?
A decision was reached earlier. Whoever won the Hull Huddersfield game earlier, he would choose the victor from that game. So we've been actually preparing on that basis for some time.
Okay, it's unique this because we have the top 4 clubs in Super League qualified for the semi-finals. Normally, Stephen or whoever is in his place picks the lowest ranked team for the right to get to Old Trafford. This time, it's the league leaders, the Huddersfield Giants, who finished top of the pile. And Paul Anderson, their coach, has been watching and waiting with interest. Paul, can you come and just join us here? I think you had a slight inkling that that might be the way that Warrington would go.
Not really, but we've got a challenge now in Warrington feel we come in and they can beat us, so we've got a challenge and try and match it.
Is it a question, and people tell me this, that whoever they pick are doubly now motivated because Steven Broomhead and his board, not necessarily Tony Smith and his players, thinks that they've got the measure of you?
Well, I can't speak for them, can I? Should ask him that question, so what we're going to do is knuckle down and prepare for Thursday.
And you didn't have a glove laid on you on Thursday night last when you absolutely hammered the Hull FC, so you would imagine you're coming into this pretty fresh.
Yeah, we've come through the game pretty well, and obviously the thing from last Thursday was to get a win and be in this position now, so we're happy with that. And we knew we was going to have to leave the Johnson Smith Stadium and come to Wigan or Warrington, so there's no real surprise that we're going to one or the other out, so we know we're going to come here Thursday and we've got to play well to win.
Very best of luck with it, of course.